What's up, everybody? My name is Ryan. I am the Mustache Baptist here on YouTube, and today's video is just going to be sort of an introduction to the channel. I, I was thinking about just going ahead and posting my first book review. I was like, you know what? I think it would be best if I were to introduce myself. That way, you kind of know who I am and some of the angles I might come from. They'll be better explained by this introduction video. I'm Ryan. I'm a college sophomore. I'm a big theology nerd, and I love books. Books are absolutely phenomenal. This year for Christmas, that's basically all I asked for. I love reading books. I love reviewing books. I love talking books. And so, really, the sole purpose of this channel is for Christian book reviews, from anything from my first one is Your Jesus to American by Dr. Steve Besner, all the way to the Institutes of the Christian Religion by John Calvin. And so my goal for this channel is to be very sophisticated in how we attack each book and trying to look objectively, talk about where the book does right, where it does wrong, and how it can be better. I also want to talk a little bit about church history. I'm a history major. I love history, and so church history is something that has always intrigued me. So one of the reasons I made the channel was to review books and also talk about church history, trying to go objectively, trying not to straw man different positions, especially like in let's take the Council of Nicaea, for example. I want to be able to not strawman Arianism. I want to be able to steelman it, even though I might not agree with it. I want to be able to come at it objectively and to be able to say, well, they believe this because of this. This is what happened. Here's why. And so, church history, book reviews, and also some interviews. I think that some interviews would be really, really fruitful. I want to do a little interdenominational dialogue. I really like the idea of learning from different denominations. I myself am a Baptist, but I mean, I use the Book of Common Prayer quite frequently. I think it's a great tool, just for prayer growth, and that's an Anglican thing. And so I think that everybody should look into denominations because it's important to be able to see the positive fruits of a denomination. Say, you know what, this does right here. I like this. I'm going to also do this. And so, book reviews, church history, interviews, denominational dialogue, all that. That's really kind of the purpose for this channel. I'm kind of new to a lot of this presenting stuff, and interviewing I'd be very new to, and also editing. So please give me a little bit of grace. I'm gonna try to improve as time goes on, especially because one of the ideas I have is in a few years I want to be able to make a video looking back at this first video and be able to say, well, where did I improve? Not only in my theological knowledge or my book review skill, but where did I improve in the editing? Where did I improve in just the communication here? And so that's really important to me, is being able to look back and see how much growth I had. But before we go even further, I think it's important to talk about my own personal theology, which is something that's going to kind of indicate where I go on the channel and what I talk about, what I do, and I kind of alluded to earlier, I am a Baptist, but I would consider myself a Reformed Baptist. And I know that some people in the Reformed camp just cringe because, like, you can't be Reformed and a Baptist. And I'd say, I, okay, I kind of get your point. I understand that I'm not fully covenantal like a Presbyterian or maybe an Anglican would be, but I'd argue that I fit better into the Reformed Baptist category, or the Reformed category in general, because I don't really fit with the other section of Baptists. It's not that there's anything wrong with them. It's just not where I fit in. And so I would consider myself a Reformed Baptist. I'd also consider myself creedal and confessional. I adhere to the 1689 London Baptist Confession with a little bit of nuance, and I'll kind of talk about that probably later on, maybe towards the summertime. I'm also creedal. I think creeds are important. I wish we would recite creeds in church. The Nicene Creed, Apostles' Creed, Athanasian Creed, Chalcedonian Creed, all those. I really, really do think we need to be talking about more, especially in our church services. But while I do hold to that specific theological position, I want to be fair. So when I do interdenominational dialogue, my goal is to be fair and to treat them with the respect I'd ask them to treat me. And I think an important nuance is that I don't really have a desire to do any interdenominational apologetics, because at the end of the day, that really is not why I made this channel. And I might eventually, if somebody is critiquing me, maybe one day I'd do a little bit. But the overall goal of the channel itself is to be a little ecumenical and to treat others with the respect that they deserve, and as the same respect I'd ask for, and to look more towards books, more towards history, and not towards, you're a heretic, you're a heretic, you're a heretic. And so that's really the sole purpose of the channel. That's my theology, is trying to be a little bit more ecumenical. And if I disagree on something, I'll make it known, but I won't hate on the other person for believing it. Um, but I really had, like I said, no inner desire, no intrinsic desire to do interdenominational apologetics. What I do want to do, the content I do want to make, I want to make some book reviews. I really think that that books are some of the like keys to our life. I mean, the Bible itself is a book, or not even a book, a library of books. And I love reading. I think reading is something everybody should do. And so, not only do I want to do book reviews, I want to do book summaries. So, with this first book I did, Your Jesus to American by Dr. Steve Besner, I've already done the review video and I'm ready to post that soon, but I'm also going to do a summary video. And so, if you look at the book, every time that there is a little orange tab, all the little orange tabs, that means that I have a disagreement. And so, in the summary video, I'm going to go through and talk about my disagreements, my agreements, some quotes that I like from the book, and some discipleship actions that Dr. Besner made. And I'm really excited for that. So the channel's purpose really is to review and summarize books, to go in deep into church history. I want to be able to talk about events, creeds, confessions, schisms. I want to be able to go into all those details with objectivity. I don't want to strawman the other positions, especially even if they're heresies. I want to be able to talk about what they believe and why they believe it, and not just hate on them the whole time. Try and look at it from their angle, and then talk about why I disagree with what they believe. And so, church history, I want to go objective. I really want to make some videos every now and then talking about different events. That's a big thing for me. I love history. I also want to do some interviews, as I kind of alluded to before, with not only interdenominational interviews with priests or deacons or whatever in different denominations, but also with some people I know, just to kind of see and just to kind of get a feel of just the average layman, especially if they're in a different tradition. Like I have a few Anglican friends, Presbyterian friends, and other Reformed Baptist friends, and so I want to be able to do some interviews and just kind of go more practical with them, talk maybe about prayer, discipleship, and things of that nature. But finally, I want to, speaking practical, I want to do some weekly devotions. I want to go through books of the Bible and do just every week, every Monday, do a devotion talking about just maybe that chapter or something. And I think that I want to do this because I want to keep the channel gospel centered. While books and church history and all that's really really cool, at the end of the day, it should always be rooted in God's word. It should always be rooted in the gospel and our love for Jesus. And so, and just the overall awe we have for God. And so I want to keep it centered on God. And so I want to do a weekly devotional, just kind of talking about different books of the Bible, going through chapter by chapter. We'll probably start in Luke. I love the book of Luke. The Gospel of Luke is one of my favorites. Luke 9:23 is one of my all-time favorite verses. And so that's where I want to do. That's where I want to get a good rhythm of actually producing videos every Monday for some weekly devotionals. And then I also want to do every few months. I want to do a church history video. I want to make sure I do the correct prep time so I understand and learn and do the proper research to be able to actually talk about the topic. Then at the same time, every Wednesday I want to do a little history that's more scaled towards the Baptist name, and that's with Keach's Catechism. I want to go through each point of the Catechism. It's 118 points, so 118 Wednesdays, and just talk a little bit about what Keach is saying. Maybe explain something if it's a little nuanced. If it's pretty straightforward, it's gonna be a straightforward video. And I just want to go through each point and just talk through Keach's Catechism and maybe go into some other ones. I think the Westminster Shorter probably will be one of them that I'll go through. Just things of that nature. Just a short little confessionals and creeds. Be kind of like a creeds and confessions Wednesday, and I think that'll be really interesting just to go through and learn through and talk through some of these important church history documents. And finally, book reviews are going to be kind of spread out a little bit. So, for example, this book right here is 193 pages. That's excluding the foreword and the acknowledgments. While this book right here is nearly, I think it's about 400 and something. And so it's going to take me a lot longer to read this book than it would to read the other book. And that's okay, but my book reviews and summaries might be a little bit longer for that book than this book. But at the same time, it also might take me a little bit longer to actually read. So when it comes to the book reviews and the book summaries, it's going to be a little bit more loosey-goosey. I'll probably try to get them done. I'll try to get them done as soon as possible, but it won't be a set in stone schedule like like the weekly devotionals and the weekly catechism, I guess, talks. And but with all that being said, I want to make sure just to highlight that this channel's sole purpose is to glorify God, and we do that through exegeting the word as best of our ability, talking through some church history and seeing where Christians for 2,000 years have gone right, gone wrong, what we agree with, what we disagree with, and just talking about just the awesome glory of God, and that's really the sole purpose of this channel. And I will have my first video coming out, my first review coming out sometime within, I think, the next 2 days. And that'll be the Your Jesus is Too American book review. And I'm excited for that. The summary will be coming out a few days later where I go, like I said, in depth with everything. But Your Jesus is Too American by Dr. Steve Besner, the review will be coming out in a few days. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to stay up to date and see when that review actually does come out. And then comment. So I have two things to ask for. Number one, any critiques you may have for the video. I understand that sorry, those are my keys. I understand that the spatula or the wooden spoon's a little bit distracting. Let me know. Is this a good? Do you like this, or do you like it hooked on the microphone hooked onto my jacket? I had it hooked onto the jacket originally, but I was like, I'm gonna change it up just for the introduction and see other people like it. And then at the same time, please feel free to comment any topics you might want me to discuss and go deeper on, and just even if it's just something you want to see my own opinion on. And so feel free, please comment that stuff. Comment your critiques for me, how I can get better, some constructive criticism. I'd love to hear it, just so I can keep growing and getting better, and being the best version of myself that I can be for you guys. But otherwise, I really appreciate you guys and all you've done, or for watching this video, and thank you guys. God bless.